Before I get started with this video, shout out to P Money for sending me this story right here. Now, originally when he sent me the story, it only highlighted the person in the middle. So I was getting ready to do the video, but when I typed his name in to pull up his image so I could use that as a thumbnail, these other two images came up with it. So apparently it was almost like a little family affair thing that happened with this. And before I get started, doesn't the guy on the left look like the dad looks like the character on Shameless? I've never watched the show Shameless, but I'm familiar with the show and some of the characters as far as the actors go. And he looks almost just like the dad. I don't know who this character is, but I keep calling him the dad. I'm not sure if he's a dad or not on the show. He probably is. But y'all know what I'm talking about. He looks just like him. I thought it was him. I was like, damn, his career hit rock bottom that he looked to a life of crime. But anyway, in this image, you have the pictures of John Baldwin Sr., Anthony Baumgart, and John Baldwin Jr. from left to right. These three were involved with a shooting that happened in, let me pull it up right here. It's coming out of Indianapolis, Indiana, where a cop was shot and killed. The cop was shot in the head. And when I was reading through the article, it said he was the first cop to be killed in the line of duty since 1935. I find that very hard to believe, but hey, that's what they say. So I guess we got to go along with it. And what's interesting about this is a pattern that I'm seeing here, where you have a career criminal, meaning the one in the middle, because the one in the middle is the one who shot and killed the cop. And notice he's the only one smiling in his mugshot. The other two look like they just don't want to be there, but he is the only one smiling. So he's pretty much proud of what he did. But he's the one that killed the cop, shot him in the head. And the other ones were just, I guess they were getaway drivers, because it just said that they just fled. Now, when I was reading through the article, it was saying that this guy, Anthony Baumgart, him in the middle, had a career criminal list. Back in 2015, he was arrested for theft and illegal possession of an alcoholic beverage. The next summer in 2016, he was arrested for possession of methamphetamines, possession of marijuana, paraphernalia, and visiting a common nuisance. So basically, for the last few years, this guy has done a lot of things where he should have been in jail, but they never did. And now we come to 2018, where he has shot and killed their first deputy since 1935. So now it takes them until the death of someone occurs for them to want to make a move. Two things. Well, actually three things. Number one, this is exactly what happens when you allow a certain sector of the establishment have that much privilege and allow them to get away with everything. Number two, this adds on another notch to the belt of white people, especially white men, are very dangerous when it comes to cops. Here we have right here a white male killing a cop, and he was taken to jail. He wasn't roughed up. He wasn't, if you can tell by the look on his face, nothing really happened to him. He wasn't injured because he's smiling and he's still breathing. And number three, and this is probably the best out of the list that I'm giving you, is I feel absolutely nothing. I have pretty much dissolved all of my somethingness as far as feeling anything for a lot of these cops because of how they treat us. I said, if they're not going to deal with them in the way that they deal with us, why should I feel anything when anything happens to them? Why? Again, I ask why. And then people ask and wonder why black people such as myself feel the way that I do in my regards to situations like this. It's because of how they are. It's like they're trained one way with one group of people, and then they're trained in a whole savage way with another group of people. And we know which way they get savage when it comes to us. So, hey, but it's the job they signed up for, I guess. It still doesn't mean it's the most dangerous job in the world. Don't let those so-called blue lives matter people tell you otherwise, when being a cop is not the most dangerous job in the world. If you pulled up a list on what the most dangerous jobs in the world is, that job is probably not even in the top 10. And if it is, it's probably number 10. And it's not even in the top 5. But they'll have you to believe it is. Because let's be real here. The biggest supporters of cops, even when they're doing bad and things of that nature, especially when they are dealing with us and they always tell us we need to comply and do this and that and the third, that's basically saying, massa, put and keep your slave in place. But when you have the biggest supporters of them being mainly white people, that shows you right there who they are serving and protecting. They serve and protect them, but when it comes to us, they serve and protect themselves. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments.